Okay, so let's get right into the basics of court. So, Advocates for Children CASA represents the 18th Judicial District, which includes Arapahoe, Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln counties. So 74% of all of our cases come from Arapahoe County, 24% come from Douglas County, leaving just 2% of our cases that come from Elbert and Lincoln counties. No matter which courthouse you are going to, before you leave for court, make sure that you always have your CASA badge, which you'll get at the end of training. And then also make sure that your clothing is court appropriate. So that means business attire, no jeans, no flip-flops, or tank tops. So here is the Arapahoe County Justice Center, where most of our cases come from. To the left is a photo of the building, and the parking lot is actually right in front of there. So it'll say visitor/public parking lot, and that's where you'll park. And then you'll enter through the main doors, which is the photo on the right here. And then you'll always head to the right in Arapahoe to go through the security. And then I've got the address right there. The Arapahoe County Justice Center is located in Centennial. So in the courthouse, the courtrooms are labeled numerically and they're called divisions. So for example, Division 22 is located on the second floor, and it'll say Division 22 courtroom above the door so that you know you're in the right place. So here is a diagram of what Division 22 courtroom looks like in Arapahoe County. You can see the top right where the judge sits, and the clerk is the support staff for the judge. The court reporter may be there to create a transcript of the hearings. And then in the witness box, that's where the CASA staff member will always be seated. And that's also where the CASA volunteer attending court will be standing when it's time to give their verbal update. So you can see the county attorney is seated to the far left, and the county attorney represents the caseworker from the Department of Human Services, and they are also responsible for initiating the dependency and neglect case. Right next to the county attorney sits the caseworker who works in the Department of Human Services. In the middle is where the guardian ad litem sits, who is an attorney that represents the child's or children's best interest. And then the respondent parent attorneys are the attorneys that represent the parents. And if the respondent parents on cases are present for the hearings, they will be seated right next to their attorneys. So, CASA volunteers, when they first get to court, they will sit in the gallery, and those are those public benches in the back of the courtroom until their hearing is called by the judge. And once their hearing is called, they will walk up to the witness stand to join the CASA staff member so that they may enter their appearance and give their verbal update. And there will always be a CASA staff member with you at court. So whenever you attend court for any of your cases, hearings, there will always be a CASA staff member there taking notes, so you'll never be alone. And the CASA staff member taking notes is taking notes on what's being reported in the hearing. And then later, those notes will be uploaded into our internal database system called Optima, so that you can always go back and refer to those court notes. And an important thing to note is that the children on our cases are not usually present at the hearings. Sometimes older teens might want to attend their own hearings, or they might want to advocate for themselves, but usually the children on our cases will not be present. Okay, so Here is the Douglas County Courthouse located in Castle Rock, Colorado. There is a photo of what the building looks like. There's the front entrance. Similar to Arapahoe, parking is directly in front of the entrance. In Douglas, you'll walk in and head to the left, and you'll see the security right there. So here's a photo of what Division 8 looks like in Douglas County. You can see the magistrate. Next to the magistrate sits the clerk and the court reporter. And then this is the biggest difference between Arapahoe and Douglas County. So in Arapahoe County, I explained that the CASA staff member and the CASA volunteer will be seated in the witness box. However, in Douglas County, we will be seated in the jury box. So, exactly like Arapahoe County, when you first enter the courtroom, you will sit in the gallery in those public benches in the back. When the magistrate calls your case, you will walk up and stand next to the CASA staff member in the jury box. And that's one of the reasons it's so important to wear your CASA badge so that the CASA staff member can easily recognize, oh, there's a CASA volunteer here on the case, so they will know to look out for you in the courtroom. And then the professionals are seated in a different place in Douglas County as well. So you can see the respondent parent attorneys and the respondent parents are on the far left. The guardian ad litem is usually standing in the middle, and then the county attorney and the caseworker are to the right. So here is what the Elbert County Courthouse looks like. It is located in Kiowa. Here's the Lincoln County Courthouse located in Hugo. And if you do want to observe Elbert and Lincoln County Court, just let us know and we can totally make that happen. So in all of the courthouses, you will need to go through security. And it's a little like going to the airport. You can't bring anything that could potentially be used as a weapon. So when you're in your car, before entering the courthouse, think about what you might have in your purse or bag. Remove any pocket knives, nail files, metal utensils, or pepper spray, and just leave those in the car. The security may ask you to return some of those items to your car, which in turn might make you late for your hearing. So really just take a moment in your car to think about those items that you might not want to take through security. And then just always remember to be respectful to security. They're just doing their job and keeping the courthouses safe. Okay, so for court etiquette. So don't eat food or snacks in the courtroom. Please wait until after your hearing. Always wear your CASA badge and lanyard, like I was explaining earlier. Bring your verbal update, whether that means you have it printed out on a sheet of paper or you have it saved on your phone. Make sure that you have that. Turn your phone to silent mode and please don't answer any phone calls when you're in the courtroom. Be aware of who might be able to hear you and your conversations. You may be sitting next to a family member or a friend of someone who has a hearing. So we really want to be respectful of the things we're saying and the people that may be around us. Practice your poker face. Don't react to what you might hear or see. And note that there may be parents in custody attending their hearings. So that means they'll be sitting in the jury box in a jumpsuit and shackles, but it doesn't mean they're dangerous. And deputies also might be in the courtroom in uniform. Also doesn't mean something's going wrong. It's just a standard. Court will likely be loud, crowded, and busy. So there are a ton of moving parts in the courtroom, and many people will be shuffling around, leaving the courtroom, entering the courtroom. So please, if you're sitting back there in the gallery and you need to have a conversation, please just whisper, and note that it can be really hard to hear if the back of the courtroom is super loud. So court often does not run as scheduled. Several hearings could be scheduled for the same time. So please be patient, and note that your hearing may not start on time.